Basically, we see if our marriage, this YouTube channel, survive the next 3 days.
I didn't know that our marriage was on the line, but I mean, good to know.
I had waffles, I feel great.
Ooh, nice, high five.
Goal is to beat Sid. That's it.
I think I've seen enough of the trails to feel pretty comfortable that this is doable. Of course, it hasn't started yet.
We've been in Moab for 5 days now. Been camping, living in the van, it's been awesome. This morning we packed up all our stuff and we're heading into town because for this race we will be staying in a condo.
Whoa,
living it up.
Rollin'.
This is because our coach Mike, who you guys have met on this channel a few times, rented a house for all of his athletes. So we'll be staying with a bunch of other athletes that he coaches and we'll all be able to hang out and do this race together. So that's gonna be really fun. So
including Sid's parents.
Yeah, and my dad's in on that too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a big crew and yeah, we're gonna head in and do that now and introduce you guys to some of the people you'll be seeing in our race vlog this weekend. Oh yeah, fun fact, this is our headlight that's sitting here because it fell off as we were driving into Moab. So don't mind that. Focus on the beautiful red cliffs. Our ride yesterday was basically a pre-ride of the first day of this 3-day race. And how you doing, Mackie?
It took us 5.5 hours. We had some
issues,
but like
we definitely weren't going race pace, but no. I was hoping that we could do these race stages in 3 hours, and that's
seeming optimistic
at the moment. But you know, it always happens that you're always a lot faster when you're racing, even when you feel like, oh, we like didn't stop that much. Like, I still think we stopped a lot. We're also pretty sore.
Definitely.
We had ridden hard the 2 days before that because we are training for BC Bike Race, not this race. So we are like fully planning to go into this race tired, but no matter how much you plan that, it's always a little bit like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap. I'm actually going to be tired. I thought I was superhuman, but I'm actually going to be tired. This is like classic Moab. What is going on here?
That's an ambulance.
With bikes.
A lifted 4-wheel drive ambulance with a bike rack on the front. This is our fancy pants home for the weekend.
Oh, this is gigantic. We have stocked up on race food. We got some pickles, bananas, chocolate covered pretzels, cookies, potato chips, tortilla chips, strawberries, granola, oranges. We're just starting to fill up. Probably nowhere near what it's gonna look like in like a day. That's all our stuff on the top.
Look who our next door neighbor is. BKXC. Brian is also racing Moab Rocks, and so we are going to we're gonna have him in our video and try to get his side of the story as well as more of a YouTuber with some race experience as opposed to us where we are racers with YouTube experience.
I'm Brian, I have the YouTube channel BKXC. And this is the first time I'm ever gonna do a stage race of cross-country races back to back to back. I have done cross-country races here and there years ago in like the sport category, which is like the lower middle category where I was actually pretty good. Me and my brother were in really good shape circa 2013. Now, not so much. I'm a good rider, but the physical lung stuff is very, very tough. I'm gonna be filming and all these things, so I'm looking forward to it. It's a big test, and just like Sid and Mackie, I'm gonna do the BC Bike Race as well. So this is like a little mini BC Bike Race, and we're gonna see how we pull through it. My goals for this race are not to get cramps and not to crash. So like I literally have no other benchmarks at all to know how good I am or what I'm gonna do or how much power I should be putting out. I have a power meter on my bike now, so I can kind of nerd out on the stats, but I don't even know what I'm looking at. So survival.
You know your FTP.
I do. I do know my FTP, 227.
It's literally the same as mine.
And we weigh the same, we're the same height.
Yeah. It's on down.
It's on. The goal is to beat Sydney. That's it. So I've done enduro races filming with the camera and everything, and it doesn't hinder it as much as you would think. This is different because it's go, 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 3 hours non-stop, where I will have to stop eventually, pull over, change batteries, and do all that stuff, that maintenance stuff. But I think I can still get into the zone of racing and to the killer instinct kind of thing.
Our other housemate is Fairly, who has a very awesome vanity plate, and we will be asking her about her race experience also.
Is this thing on?
It is on.
Hi, I'm Fairly Fry. I'm from Boise, Idaho. I race cross-country mountain bikes. And we're here at the Moab Rock stage race. This will be my first stage race ever. We'll see how it goes.
What are your goals?
What are my goals? Yeah, I'm gonna ride all the rocks. My goals are to just have a strong third day. That's actually my goal. Is just have a strong third day, ride within my wheelhouse, and work on some rocks that we don't really have where I'm at. So this is kind of like a kid in Candyland in terms of practice opportunity.
So here is the other condo, which is where we're going to be having dinners. Team dinners.
Hello.
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 My name is Jim Schultz. I'm Sid Schultz's dad.
Why you're doing this race?
I think it came up as something to do a long time ago, and I signed up for it without thinking too much about it.
How are you feeling about that now?
Really good. I think I've seen enough of the trails to feel pretty comfortable that this is doable. Of course, it hasn't started yet. I think I started racing mountain bikes probably in 1989. Maybe a little bit later, but it seemed to me it was before you were born. I think I raced a couple. My strength has always been endurance. I've always looked for longer races, 40s and 100s, rather than the 20 milers because they're just too fast. I can't even think about getting that keyhole shot. I don't have that kind of acceleration at all.
So a 3-day stage race might be a very good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly makes more sense to me, but I'm not thinking there's a lot of people for me to race out there. So
You don't know that yet.
Well, I don't, but I suspect I will be, if it's anything like the last couple 40s I've done, I'll be by myself out there for a little bit of a time. We'll see. It's pretty different. I'd say I'm in pretty good shape considering the time of year. It was sort of a hard year to do any mountain biking, but I've done a lot of gravel grinding and a lot of back road riding, and I'd say I'm physically in shape. Technically, I'm probably weak, but we'll see. I mean, I've had a good week of playing out here, and I think that's made me better for it. I would like to finish each day feeling good. I mean, finish the day with a smile on my face, well hydrated, ready to take on the next day. And if I feel like I'm really racing, I'll worry about racing on the third day. Because if there's anybody out there I'm truly racing with, we're probably going to work together until the finish line. So I'm really glad to have the opportunity to come to Moab and try some of these trails. And just the riding of the trails, pre-riding of the trails we're going to race has been, really a lot of fun.
Something special happens on the second day of the race.
The second day is my birthday, so I will be celebrating my birthday and riding my bike. Oh, that's something new, isn't it?
How old, Jim? How old?
I will be 67.
All right. I got a little overzealous with the potatoes.
Overzealous with potatoes is never a problem.
And the chorizo. I only had 3 dozen eggs.
Only 3 dozen?
Yeah.
Dang.
So I've got this frittata, these 2 up here, and then
Oh my god.
these little chorizo potato pies.
That looks amazing.
So
So you did have a lot of potatoes. So are there potatoes in these too?
there are potatoes in
Oh
these.
my god, that is a work of art.
So
Wow. So is this like this meal carefully calibrated to make us really fast tomorrow?
this meal is carefully calibrated to make sure there's enough sodium in your system to make you want to hydrate really well tonight.
I knew you were up to something.
My name is Mike Durner. I am Coach Sid and Mackie, and several of the other people who are here at Moab Rocks. And I put this together because a few of my athletes were interested and said, hey, I'll just be team mom and take care of the logistics, the cooking, keep everybody settled, and so they have a lot of fun and can focus on performance or fun or whatever they want to do this weekend. Training, either way. I'm not racing this weekend.
What are your thoughts on that?
I have two thoughts on that. Racing is fun. I love it. I enjoy being on the mountain bike especially. But I also like to get better at my job, and this is kind of a good way to practice.
Goals for the weekend?
Everybody has fun. Everybody enjoys the dinners. And everybody goes away saying, I would do that again. Goals for Sid and Mackie. Because you guys came to me at the beginning of the year talking about like wanting to do BC, and we had a similar fireside chat in my living room about that. I was like, this would be a good chance for you guys to practice that and see, do we need to make any changes to any training? Do we need to make any changes to how we communicate? Because BC is pretty big. 7 big days and an 8th shorter day. And I think you guys have a better chance of doing well than other married couples who I know have done it because you live in a van and that requires a different level of personal intimacy.
Proximity.
Than living in a house where I can just go downstairs and avoid somebody. You don't have that opportunity. So I think because of how you guys already communicate pretty well, you'll do well, but I still thought some practice would be necessary.
I like your book, Mike.
Thank you.
Team Mom is prepared. Got a booklet.
There's not,
That's where we're
since
going.
there's not a lot of info, there's not a lot of pages. But, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
You have tabs.
That's
To encapsulate the amount of food that we have here. Everybody lining up.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think you would
You ready, Brian?
waiting so patiently.
I get you too.
What do you got?
Alright, so I was digging.
Hot tuna frittata. Not actually.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so you
I think it's a chorizo potato frittata plus some
Amazing.
chorizo potatoes on top.
Looks
I had a roommate in
amazing.
college.
You can never have enough chorizo potatoes.
Never have choice.
For morning tomorrow, we will have to be over at the high school by 8 o'clock.
Ooh.
Ish.
How do we feel about that? You too. Fairly stoked.
And then in theory you're done by, so 8:30. If it takes you 4 hours,
Done at noon.
done at noon.
Noon 30.
Yeah.
We are shooting for under 4 hours.
Well,
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I'm starting with like
Okay.
lower expectations.
Okay.
Then-
That's
So
good.
that we can beat them.
So
We
that
can
you
exceed the expectations. Good.
Yeah. So some people in this room might be done in 2.5 hours. I don't know. We'll find out.
Pedal hard tomorrow, so we can be done in 2.5 hours.
Depends if there are milkshakes at the end.
So we want to get there maybe like 10 to 8.
Okay.
Again, spin
10 to
around
8.
20 minutes.
And this is 10 to 8 with all of our clothings on.
Yes.
Yeah. Ready.
How are you planning on getting there otherwise?
Well, we have this problem where all of our stuff is in the van, so we could drive there and get dressed there.
But
That's probably a bad idea, though.
okay.
Yeah.
So we have to leave here when?
So to get there, I plug it into the.
We're working backwards
But-
to when do we have to
but
wake
it's-
up.
So
Yeah.
we should probably plan to leave at 7:30,
Yes.
right? So Sid, how long do we need to be able to be ready at 7:30?
Oh, 15 minutes? I don't know. No, we should probably get up at like 6:30.
Oh!
I know. Whenever we get into the 6s, Mackie has trouble.
Number 18.
You ready to go tomorrow?
Number 119.
Number 119. Whoa, the lights just went off. Our bikes are ready for tomorrow.
Hopefully you guys have seen our Andes Pacifico videos. That was an enduro stage race. And just like very briefly, the difference with enduro is that you are not timed on the climbs.
You only get timed on the descents. So it's all about your descending skill.
This one, not so much.
Classic XC race, only you do it for 3 days in a row.
And they're mass start, so we start with a bunch of other people. We all race the loop, and then like first person across the finish line wins for the day.
And then your times are cumulative day to day.
Yeah, so 3 days.
Proper XC race.
3 races, add the times together. Whoever has the shortest time over 3 days wins.
Are we scared?
Nervous, maybe not scared. Nervous because we haven't done a race like this in a long time.
We've never done a race together. There is no duo category for this race, but because we're racing BC bike race in July and we're racing that as a duo, we wanted like a practice for that, to race together and kind of work out some of those logistics of like when it made sense for me to follow Mackie, when it made sense for me to set the pace. Basically, we see if our marriage, this YouTube channel, survive the next 3 days. And if they do, then we'll try it for 8 days in BC.
I didn't know that our marriage was on the line, but
I mean,
good to know.
It's on the start line.
Our marriage is on the start line.
This is mainly about the training, mainly about just kind of like seeing what it feels like to push our bodies in this way, which is so different from what we usually do. And I would really like to even out my knee pad tan lines.
Important
That's
goals.
a secondary goal.
Second, are you sure? That's not the primary goal?
It might be the primary goal.
Might be the primary goal.
It's very important.
It's race morning. We're getting ready to go over and get some breakfast. And yeah, do our first like proper cross-country race in years. Many years. Possibly my first proper cross-country race ever. Depends how you count.
I don't know, collegiate racing counts.
Collegiate nationals counted. I don't know about the rest.
This is definitely your first cross-country stage race.
And in honor of that, we have done something a little different.
We have? Oh yeah.
You want to pull down your pants? You can't even tell. We're wearing spandex.
Whoa.
And we're being like total teenagers about it. It's funny, like when you actually race a lot of cross country or ride road bikes, it's like so normal, you don't even think about it. It's like not a big deal at all. It's really practical, intelligent clothing to wear riding a bike. But when you get out of the habit, you feel really silly. And I feel especially silly right now because I have knee warmers on and it's making my legs look like sausage rolls. Until you put these on, they don't have any creases.
Sausage roll knee warmer problem.
That's why I like these spandex, because they don't have anything, but then the knee warmers just ruin it.
I'm feeling good. I wish I'd slept a little bit more, but
Did you have trouble falling asleep?
I kept waking up. Kept waking up and going over that cliff, you know, what can I say?
Stop worrying about the cliff, it's gonna be fine.
As long as I'm awake, I'm fine. It's that interim between sleep and wake.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. I had a long story with the cleaning lady last night.
Go on.
She showed up to clean the next door condo around 1:30.
In the morning?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
And was blasting country music.
What? That's so weird.
So bizarre. I think I scared her a little. Okay, I scared her a lot. Because she left the door open. So I went in.
To be like, it's 1:30 in the morning.
I'm like,
what
trying
were
to
you
sleep
thinking?
next door. Thanks.
Wow, that's super strange.
Very strange.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
I had waffles. I feel great.
Ooh, nice. High five. How'd you sleep?
Good. And then I woke
Nice.
up a couple times thinking I was late for the race.
Yeah,
At
I
2:30,
hate that.
5:30, and 5:45.
Okay.
So
well,
I am
you know,
not late for the race.
You are not late for the
No, I am
race.
on time.
Off we go to the race venue.
Race venue.
Kevin's got the hot seat
Hot
on the cooler.
seat. Should we bump some tunes?
Let's bump some tunes.
Getting the chamois butter going.
Time to warm up. Really hard to warm up. The sun is in my eyes and there are people everywhere. So according to Mackie, this is how XC races warm up.
Take it for warm up.
What's your cadence right now? Last snot rocket.
Last snot rocket. Oh yes, I got it so good. Come on, Fairleigh, get on the Jason train. We're approaching 45-minute mark. We've climbed almost 1,500 feet, over 9 miles. So we've got about three and a half miles and 500 or 600 feet. This is the point where like you settled in, you just kind of like found a pace that you can maintain with the knowledge that there's quite a bit more to come. And this is the mellowest part of the climb. Sid's cruising. At the top of this thing, you get to descend for a little bit. We got to rally our first little descent. It was awesome. Now we're on technical double track for a good little bit, but this kind of climbing I think suits our bikes a little bit better than that dirt road did. So this is good, guys. This is real good. And then we are at the top of the quote-unquote descent. We're at almost exactly an hour and a half. We just hit the descent, which admittedly still has some climbing on it, but it's party time, friends. Oh yes, it is. What'd you think?
The climb was hard, but the rest of it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Like, I was worried about every little punchy climb that was going to cramp, but...
It was like once we got on the down.
Yeah, no, it was really good, really. An hour and 15 minutes on the road climb on these bikes is maybe not ideal, but I honestly felt like we weren't... I think probably the limiting factor is still my fitness.
Not the bike.
Yeah. My favorite bar.
Ooh, I want some too.
Yeah, that's just for you.
Yum.
You got the whole cookie thing?
Well, they were just crumbs. They were being ignored by the masses.
A little tired there, dear.
What
We survived day 1.
Day 1, done.
Check.
I had an awesome time. I really did. I
did
just
too.
had a blast.
I did too. I actually thought it was easier than I thought it was going to be. And I'm scared to say that because that was day 1. And
There are
2 more days left, so I don't want to, I'm not getting cocky or anything, but I didn't leave it all out there.
Okay. It's probably good since there are 2 more days.
I guess
if this had been a 1-day cross-country race, I would have been like, bad, Sid. You should have left it all out there.
Well, but when you leave it all out there, you always find that you have more.
Then are you really leaving it all out there?
Felt like I wasn't as slow on the climb as I thought I was going to be. And I don't know if it's the bike being a little lighter than the builds that we had last year, but I felt like...
I was really impressed with your climb, honestly. No, actually, and I'm not just hamming it up for the camera here. I'm not just trying to save our marriage here. I didn't know that our marriage was on the line. Okay, as you guys may have guessed, but maybe not, I'm a little bit stronger climbing than Sid is. And so...
He is a tank going uphill. Like a fast tank.
A fast tank. A really fast tank going uphill. No, but so because I'm the stronger, or the faster climber, I was the one who was breaking the wind. So Sid was drafting, but Sid was the one who was setting the pace, in that she would say let's take it up a little bit, I want to go a little faster, hey, we need to back it down a little bit.
And there were some sections that were pretty flat and windy, so being able to draft Mackie was huge. It was pretty funny actually. At one point we looked back and there were 12 people on our line.
Yeah,
because
apparently
Mackie was just pulling the whole way because he was already going easy for him. So he was I'm just gonna pull this, and everyone was oh my god, this
they're
is
a free pull!
amazing.
I think for me the hardest part was not going with the leaders. I watched the group of pro guys go, and for me the hardest part was not catching up with that group and then hanging on as long as I could, because that's my inclination. That's always what I did, is I basically would go with the fast guys and then see how long I could hang on, or if I was feeling good and faster than them, then I would drop them. But this was a different thing in that my priority was making sure that Sid could go as fast as she was, so that together we could go as fast as we could.
It's definitely an interesting dynamic.
It was an interesting dynamic, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I thought you killed it.
So overall,
So really my heart rate didn't go down very much on the descent at all.
it tipped.
It stayed at 175.
So there's a little dip right there, down to 155, and then something happened afterwards where it jumped right back up. You self-reported, big science words, that you did not drink that much today.
No.
So that could have an impact on it.
Oh, on the heart rate? That makes it lower or higher?
That makes it higher.
Oh.
So, because if you're when you're not hydrating, sweating out some of the stuff, your blood's getting slightly thicker.
Whoa.
And then your heart has to work a little bit harder to move oxygen and nutrients to the blood or to the muscle.
All right, we're discussing Sid's cookie eating heart rate.
So post-race, cookies, 96 beats per minute, 98. Bike path, 136.
40 beat per minute different between cookies and bike path.
Eating cookies while riding on the bike path.
Tell us about your race.
Fix my man.
It was good. I had a good time.
The race today was really, really good. I was surprised.
It was so much fun. There was stuff I did not actually think my bike had any business going down that turned out to be pretty fun.
I think it went
How did we
really
do?
well today.
Caught a group of 4 or 5 guys going out of town, and they were much faster than me, and I hung on. Did a couple pulls, but I was mostly being carried along.
My cardio sucks. I think everyone who's racing is oh, my cardio sucks. But it definitely was.
There were definitely about 3 full stop. I've never been anywhere on that trail before, so where does it go? Does it just drop into death? And so I stopped for just a minute to make sure that I was not going in fact into death.
I had to get off. I didn't have to get off. I chose to get off a couple of times just because I thought it was safer than the alternative.
First of all, everyone finished with all their skin and their parts, bicycle and body.
Bicycle and body parts.
Yes.
I had 2 liters of water in my pack, and I took 2 sips of it the entire time. So how much weight is that weighing me down and stuff, but
The thing that really worried me was the post-race trail. I was having like bad dreams about it. And once I got past that one little shiny piece of rock that went off into the abyss, I was a new man.
I've never climbed 3,000 feet so fast. Like, that was super fast. The whole race was like over pretty quickly. I was like, what the heck? Oh my God, it's over.
You didn't have to ride by yourself either. That was the other thing you were worried
great.
about.
There was always somebody either passing me or I was passing somebody, and there was actually a couple people that I worked with.
I think my favorite part was very near the finish. There were some big things, big rock things. I don't know what you call those. With cameras and shouting, and I realized at that moment, it's like, I cannot get caught not riding this. So it definitely augured into a couple of things that scared the pants off of me.
There was one young Canadian girl that came through, and towards the end, and I just followed her line, and she rode such an incredible line. I figured if she could do it and didn't disappear in front of me, I could probably go over it. So that was a great lead down the hill. So I picked up some time there, I think.
I had a couple goals. There's no cramps and no crashes. I did have a cramp near the end. And your guys' coach, Mike, was talking about how cramps might not be necessarily as related to nutrition as to training. So I could see where my training hasn't been that good. And I don't know if I've put myself through that kind of a ringer for years.
One of my other goals to myself was to just make sure I, quickly moved on from whatever frustrating little hiccup like that happened, and just leave it behind me on the trail. I think I did a good job.
My goal was to finish with a smile on my face and be ready for tomorrow. So I'd say I've got it half, and we'll see tomorrow.
Find out tomorrow.
Everybody seems to be recovering well, having fun.
There's one more for you here.
And is already looking forward to tomorrow. So definitely a win in my book.
What do you have planned for amazing dinner tonight?
So amazing dinner tonight is going to be chicken kebabs.
Oh, nice.
And mashed sweet potatoes with garlic.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so lots of yumminess tonight.
This looks amazing.
Had to descend baby steps, which is so much fun.
It was a lot of snow coming down.
We just went really pinned the entire time.
What are your thoughts about this turn of events, Mike?
Well, it's a nice surprise.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so that you don't miss part 2 of our Moab Rock series, which will be coming out on Monday.